Okay, good morning all of you. In the previous class we have discussed about the derivations of context-free grammar. So in that we have learned types of derivations, that is one is rightmost derivation and the second one is leftmost derivation. And the next one is the derivation trees or parse trees, followed by the ambiguous grammar. Now in this class I am going to explain you about the simplification of context-free grammar. Now in this class I am going to explain you how to simplify the context-free grammar. So in the simplification process we have to follow total 3 steps. One is the elimination of epsilon production, the second one is elimination of unit production, and the third one is elimination of useless symbols. So in this class I am going to explain you about the simplification of context-free grammar. These 3 points. So now, what is meant by simplification of context-free grammar and how we simplify the context-free grammar? Suppose if you take any context-free grammar, all of you know that the grammar means set of production. Production means it is a combination of the symbols. Symbol means in a grammar we are using only 2 types of symbols. One is variables or non-terminal. Second one is terminal symbols. So in those symbols we are not using all the symbols. Suppose we may not use all the symbols for deriving a sentence. So all of you know that the derivation process. In the previous class we have already learned a derivation, how to derive a sentence. We have already seen what is LMD and what is RMD. So in the derivation process, some of the symbols may not be used. So we have to eliminate the symbols. So we can simplify the grammars in a great extent. Some of the things we can do are, so this is the simplification process. So how to simplify a context-free grammar? So based on what are the points we have to simplify the grammar. So here in this case we have to follow total 3 steps. The one is the elimination of epsilon production, and the second one is the elimination of unit production, and the third one is the elimination of useless symbols. Suppose in the examination point of view, they may ask how to eliminate the epsilon productions for the following grammars. They may ask 2 or 3 marks. Or eliminate unit productions for the following grammar. Or they may ask eliminate useless symbols for the following grammar. So they may ask individually. At that time they can give 2 or 3 marks. But sometimes they may ask simplify the following grammar. So simplification means we have to perform all these 3 operations and we have to follow the order. We should follow the order. So the order is, first we have to eliminate the epsilon productions, next one we have to eliminate the unit productions, and then finally we have to eliminate the useless symbols. So we should follow the order, this type of order. So it is a simplification of order. So the first one is elimination of epsilon productions. So what is meant by epsilon production? So here the epsilon production means nothing but variable to epsilon. So all of you know that in the production left hand side it should be a variable. So in this case the right hand side is a epsilon symbol. Suppose for example take A is a variable to epsilon. So it is a epsilon production. Suppose in a given context-free grammar contains this type of productions, then first we have to eliminate these productions. So these productions we can call it as a epsilon production. And the second one is the unit production. So first of all, what is meant by unit production? So here the unit production means it is of the form variable to variable. So this type of productions we can call it as a unit production. So the production left hand side is variable and right hand side is also a variable. Suppose example is like this, A to B. A to B. So here A B belongs to variable only. So here the production, obviously in a contest tree grammar, the production left hand side is a variable and the length of the variable is 1 only. Now the unit production means the right hand side also it contains a single non-terminal symbol. So the production is like this, A to B. So the production left hand side and right hand side contains single non-terminal symbol. So this type of productions we can call it as a unit production. And the third one is useless symbols. So the name itself is a useless. What is meant by symbol? So in a grammar we have two types of symbols. One is variable and another one is terminal. So useless symbols, those do not participate in any derivation of a terminal string. Those who do not participate in any derivation of a terminal string, that symbols we can call it as a useless symbols. Suppose the grammar contains some symbols, in the derivation process each and every symbol we should be used. Suppose some of the symbols may not be applied, so that symbols we can call it as a useless symbols. So these are the simplification of contest tree grammar steps. So the simplification order is, so first the question may come, simplify the following grammar. So the grammar is a contest tree grammar. So first this is the order, we should follow the order. So the first step is elimination of epsilon production. So after performing the elimination of epsilon production, the resultant grammar becomes input to the unit production. After that we have to perform unit productions. The resultant grammar again becomes input to the useless symbols. After that the resultant grammar is simplified the given contest tree grammar. Okay, this is the approach. Now we will see first individually. First starts with elimination of epsilon production. So what is meant by epsilon production and how to eliminate the epsilon productions. Later, what is meant by unit production, how to eliminate unit production. Next one, useless symbols. So first in this class we will see individually. So how to eliminate epsilon production, how to eliminate unit production, and then how to eliminate useless symbols. The next class we will apply the all rules at a time. But in this class starts with individually. Okay. So starts with elimination of epsilon production. So eliminating of epsilon production. So in a simplification of contest tree grammar process, this is the step 1. This is the first step. In the first step we have to eliminate the epsilon production. So first, before eliminating the epsilon production, so first we have to identify the epsilon production. So what is meant by production? What is meant by epsilon production? Suppose the grammar is of the form like this, A to R form. So A is a non-terminal, it derives the epsilon. So A to epsilon is a production. Then A is nullable. So in this case A is a nullable production. Okay, it is a epsilon production. So now we have to eliminate this epsilon production. So what is the process? So we have to follow total 3 steps. In the step 1, find out nullable non-terminal variables which derives epsilon. So in a given context tree grammar may contain 0 or more nullable productions. So first we have to identify the nullable productions like this. And the next one, step 2. So for each production A to A, construct all productions A to X, where X is obtained from A. This one. So by removing one or more multiple non-terminals from step 1. And the third step is combine the original productions with the result of step 2 and remove epsilon productions. Now I will explain with an example the step 2 and step 3. Okay. So take one example. So this is the given context with grammar. So the given context with grammar is S2, AS or BA, and the second production is A2, AA or epsilon. So from this grammar eliminate epsilon productions. Okay. So first identify the nullable productions. So the given grammar contains, is there any nullable productions or not? First we have to identify it. So here the first, again in the given context with grammar we have only two non-terminals. One is yes, second one is A. Yes and A. Now identify the epsilon production. The S productions derive two productions. One is AS, second one is BA. Next one A2, AA and then epsilon. So here one production is A2 epsilon. So here A2 epsilon is a nullable production. So the given grammar contains a nullable production A. Now we have to eliminate it. So step 1 is, in the procedure the step 1 is find out all nullable symbols, all nullable non-terminal variables. So here we have only one non-terminal, that is A. So A2 epsilon is a non-terminal. And what is the step 2? Second step, for each production A to A, construct all production A to X where X is obtained from A by removing one or multiple non-terminals from step 1. That means, suppose here in this case, so the production right hand side, so here the nullable production is A2 epsilon. Now I want to eliminate the nullable production A2 epsilon. So how to eliminate it means, simply in the production left hand side the non-terminal capital A is replaced with epsilon. The production, the entire grammar, the entire given grammar, we are concentrating on the production right hand side. In the production right hand side, whenever we encountered with a symbol capital A, it is simply replaced with epsilon. Then we will get some new set of productions. For example, now S2AS, there is no symbol capital A. Next one PA. Now here A is replaced with epsilon. Now A is replaced with epsilon. Then we will get S2B is a new production. Next one AA. Now again A is replaced with epsilon. A into epsilon is A. Again we will get one more new production, that is A to A. So we have only 2 A's, so we will get 2 new productions. Okay. So this is about the step 2. And the third step. What is the third step? Combine the original productions with the result of step 2 and remove epsilon production. So combine the original productions, that means given grammar, with the result of step 2 and also remove the epsilon productions. So this is step 1 and step 2. Now write the step 3. The third step is, now after you have to write like this, after elimination of epsilon production, the resultant grammar is, so first write the given grammar as it is and no need to write the epsilon productions. So first one S2 AS / BA, next one A2 A2 AA. So first, the third step, first write the given context grammar as it is, except epsilon. No need to write the epsilon production. Okay. So S2 AS BA A2 AA. Now instead of epsilon production, we will write the new production. In step 2, we got some new set of productions. Now we have to include this production to this grammar. Now S2B. So you can write S2B. Next one A to A. Perfect. A to A. Now this is the resultant grammar. So after elimination of epsilon production, we get this. This is the resultant grammar. Okay. Next one. Take one more example. Second example. So here grammar, the given one is a context-free grammar. So in this context-free grammar, we have total 3 non-terminal symbols S, A, B. And now what is the step 1? Now we have to eliminate the epsilon productions. So what is the step 1? The step 1 is first find out the nullable non-terminals. So here in this given context-free grammar, we have total 2 nullable productions. One is A to epsilon and second one is B to epsilon. Whereas in the previous example is we have only one nullable production. Whereas in this case we have 2 nullable production. One is A to epsilon, second one is B to epsilon. Now step 2. What is step 2? Step 2. What is step 2? So now I want to eliminate the nullable productions A and B. Now in step 2 we have to perform in the given context-free grammar. We are concentrating on the production right hand side. We are concentrating on the 2 symbols. One is A and another one is B. So first we have to perform individually. Okay, so first I want to remove the nullable production A. Then, so here A. So S2. Now A is replaced with epsilon. Now the result is AB. There is no A. So here also A. Now A is replaced with epsilon. Now we will get new production B to BB. So till now we completed A to epsilon. Now I want to perform the nullable production B to epsilon. Same approach. The production right hand side we are concentrating on the symbol B. Whenever the B is encountered, it is replaced with epsilon. Then we will get some new set of production. So the first one B is replaced with epsilon. Then AA. So S2 AA. Next one B is replaced with epsilon. Then AA. And there is no B. So here one more important point is, suppose here in the given grammar contains 2 nullable productions. So how to eliminate it means, so first we have to eliminate the nullable production A. Next one, eliminate the nullable production B separately, individually. Later, at a time, apply the nullable productions A and B at a time. Now, A is epsilon, B is epsilon. Then we will get A. Suppose B, A repeated, B, B repeated. Okay. So first apply A to epsilon, next apply B to epsilon, next one combinedly apply A and B. So at that time we got the new production A. So this is the second step. And the third step is the resultant grammar is so first write the given grammar as it is, except epsilon productions. So S2 AAB. So A to epsilon is the epsilon production. So no need to write this production. Next one B to BBA. And no need to write the epsilon productions. So instead of these two, we can include the step 2 result. Okay. So in this grammar, we are adding these productions to this grammar. Now S2AB. AA. double A, A. Same way B to BB. So this is the final grammar. So after elimination of nullable production, this is the resultant grammar. Okay. So in this way, we performed elimination of epsilon production. So this is the step 1. Okay. And the second step is in the simplification process. The first one is elimination of epsilon productions. So this is the procedure. And the second one in the simplification of process, the step 2 is elimination of unit productions. And the next one is elimination of unit production. So before eliminating the unit productions, so first of all, what is meant by unit production? So the unit production means nothing but the production is of the form A to B, where A, B belongs to V. What is V? V is a variable, and here the length of the variable should be 1. In this case, the length of the variable should be 1. So it is called a unit production. It is called a unit production. Okay. Next one. Suppose here the meaning is that the production left hand side is single non-terminal symbol. The production right hand side is also a single non-terminal symbol. So this type of productions we can call it as a unit production. Single non-terminal, single non-terminal. Suppose the given context-free grammar contains this type of productions. So first we identified this type of productions and then we have to eliminate it. Now, how to eliminate the unit production? The next one is how to eliminate the unit productions. So this is the procedure. Again, 3 steps are there. The step is the step 1. So remove A to B because A to B is a unit production. So add production A to X. Add production A to X because the left hand side is capital A. Here also the left hand side is capital A. So add productions A to X to the grammar rule whenever B to X occurs in the grammar. What is B? B is a right hand side of the symbol. Suppose here B is a right hand side of the symbol and it should be a non-terminal only. So every non-terminal having some production. In this case B is a non-terminal and the production is B to X. Now we have to add like this. A to, instead of B we can write the B productions as it is. Instead of B we can write the B productions as it is. Suppose what is meant by unit production? The unit production means both left hand side, right hand side contains single non-terminal symbol. Suppose if it is a single non-terminal symbol means it is a unit production. Other than single non-terminal, it is not a unit production. That's why simply B is a non-terminal and each and every non-terminal having some production. Now simply the B is replaced with those productions. Okay, this is the approach. So here in this case X should be a terminal, whereas in this case X belongs to terminal. Suppose in case X is a non-terminal means again repeat the same process. Suppose if X is a non-terminal, again X to Y, each and every non-terminal having some production. So again X to Y, so X is replaced with Y. Like that this process will be repeated. And the next one, once we replace with B as X, next one we have to remove A to B production. We have to remove A to B. Instead of A to B, we can use A to X. And the next one, repeat from step 1 until all unit productions are removed. So this is the major step. This is the major step. Now take one example. So before that, if you observe this one, consider the grammar. So here the grammar is, the first production is S to A. The second production is A to B. And the third production is B to C. Fourth one is C to D. If you observe, so here in this grammar we have total 4 productions. We have 4 productions. Out of these 4 productions, first 3 productions are unit productions. Because what is meant by unit production? The production is of the form A to B. Both left hand side, right hand side, single non-terminal symbol. It is a unit production. So yes, yeah, both are variables. Here also both are variables. Both are variables. Whereas in this case, C to D, C is a variable, but D is not a variable. It is a terminal. So except the last production, remaining 3 are unit productions. Suppose the productions are like this, then you can write C. S to A. What is A? A is a non-terminal. So how to eliminate the unit production? Simply, the non-terminal A is replaced with A productions. Now what is A? B. Again B is a unit production. So, sorry, A to B. Again B is a non-terminal symbol. Now again B, what is B? C. Again C is a non-terminal. What is C? D. So that's why simply you can write directly S to D. Simply you can write S to D. S to A. What is A? A to B. What is B? B to C. What is C? C to D. So instead of that you can write directly S to D. So this process we can call it as a chain rule. This process we can call it as a chain rule. Okay. Now this is the example problem. So eliminate unit productions from the following grammar. Eliminate unit productions from the following grammar. So first one. So this is the given grammar. The grammar contains total 3 non-terminal symbols. I mean 3 productions. S, A, B. So what is the first one? So first one we have to check it whether the given grammar contains any unit productions or not. So here the given grammar contains total 3 unit productions. One is S to A. In this case S to A. Next one A to B. Second one is A to B. And the third one is B to S. Third one is B to S. Okay. Now we have to eliminate these 3 unit productions. These are the unit productions. Now we have to eliminate these 3 unit productions. So starts with first production, S to A. So what is A? A is a non-terminal. So A is replaced with A productions. What are the A productions? One is BB, one is B, and second one is S to B. Capital B, small b. So capital B, small b. So S to B, it is not in unit production. So okay, so we can include this production. Next one, what about S to B? Again it is a unit production. So again you have to write simply B is replaced with B productions. What are the B productions? One is S, second one is A. So first write S to A and second write S to S. So S to A, it is not in unit production. S to S, it is a trivial condition because both the sides forming a same symbol. It is not a unit production. So after elimination of S to A, after elimination of unit production S to A, we will get one is S to B production and the second one is S to A production. Anyway, it is a unit production. No need to write this one. Instead of this one, you can write S to A. See, the first production is S to BB. So the final grammar is S to BB Now S2A. Instead of S2A, we can write S2B. Next one, S2A. So this is the answer. And the next one, the second unit production is A2B. Now A2, write the B productions. What are the B productions? A-S. So first one A. It is not a unit production. Next one A2S. Again, it is a unit production. So write the S productions. What are the S productions? So first one BB. It is not in unit production. Next one is A. No need to consider these productions. Now A2B. After removing the nullable production A2B, the resultant grammar is, you can write A2A, A2BB. A2A, BB. Same way, the third production, B2S. Here the grammar is, so B2A, okay. Sorry, B2. So here B2, yes, yes means one is capital A and second one is BB. So start with BB. It is not in unit production. Next one, B2A. B2A. Again it is a unit production. Again A is replaced with A productions. One is B, correct. Second one is B. It is a trivial condition. Now the final one is B2A, B2A, and instead of B2S, you can write B2BB. Next one, B2B. So after elimination of the unit productions S2A, A2B, and B2S, the resultant grammar is this one. The resultant grammar is this one. So elimination of unit production means simply nothing but whatever the right hand side symbol, that should be replaced with that productions. Suppose in this case A is a non-terminal, simply A is replaced with A productions. One is B, so it is not a unit production. We can include B. Next one, what is the second symbol? B. It is a non-terminal symbol. So again it is form a unit production. Again, repeat the same cycle. Again, B is a non-terminal. Write the B productions. Okay. Like that, simply right hand side productions, right hand side symbol is replaced with those productions. So this is the approach. So in this way, we have eliminated the unit productions. So this is the second step. And the next step is useless symbols. The third step, in the simplification process, we have total 3 steps. The first step is elimination of epsilon productions, and the second one is elimination of unit productions. These 2 productions are already over. And now the third step is elimination of useless symbols. Elimination of useless symbols. So here, so first, before I'm explaining about the useless symbols. So first, explain what is meant by useful symbol. What is meant by useful symbol? Other than useful, remaining all are useless symbols. Okay. So here we are mainly concentrating on 2 points. The first point is derive some terminal string. Derive some terminal string. So the grammar contains terminals and non-terminals. So each and every non-terminal having some production. So that's why each and every non-terminal derives some string of terminals. Each and every non-terminal derives string of terminals. Then those non-all terminals are useful symbols. Suppose any non-terminal does not derive a terminal string, then that non-terminal is a useless symbol. And the second point, be reachable from the starting symbol of the grammar. So for example, this is alpha, gamma, beta, gamma, alpha, beta, whatever it is. Suppose S is starting symbol of the grammar, derives. So in here, in this derivation process, each and every non-terminal should be there. That means each and every non-terminal symbol derivable from starting symbol of the grammar. Then all those non-terminal symbols are useful symbols. Suppose any non-terminal symbol not deriving from the S. So in this process, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, suppose it is a 10 lines, 5 lines, 20 lines, whatever it is. Suppose, for example, take 5 lines. In these 5 lines, whether it is the first line, second line or fifth line, whatever it is, each and every non-terminal is derivable from starting symbol. Suppose any non-terminal symbol is not existing in this process, then we say that it is a useless symbol. Okay. So the first point is each and every non-terminal symbol deriving a string of terminals. That is useful symbol. Any non-terminal symbol not deriving a string of terminal means it is a useless symbol. And the third point, each and every non-terminal symbol is derivable from starting symbol of the grammar. Any symbol is not derivable from S, then it is a useless symbol. So these are the 2 points. Okay. So here X wouldn't really be useful, alpha or beta included a symbol that did not satisfy 1. Okay, I will explain with an example. See, here the problem is eliminate useless symbols from the grammar. So here the grammar contains 2 productions, S, A. So we have total 2 rules. So it is a useless symbol. So rule 1. So what is rule 1? So rule 1 means each and every non-terminal. So each and every non-terminal. Suppose S, A, B. Because we have total 3 non-terminal symbols. S, A, B. We have total 3 non-terminal symbols. Each and every non-terminal symbol deriving a string of terminals. You know what do you mean by string of terminals? Terminal string. So string means sequence of symbols. Suppose A, B, C. It is a string. And all are terminals only. Suppose A is a string. It is a terminal. B is a string. C, D, E. Entire one is a string and all are terminals only. Suppose, for example, if you take this one. What is this one? It is a string only, but it is not a terminal string. It is not a terminal string because here capital A is there. What is capital A? Capital A is a non-terminal. Capital A is a non-terminal. So it is not a terminal string. So terminal string means nothing but the string which contains only terminal symbols. Same way. So the rule 1 is each and every non-terminal symbol deriving a string of terminals. That is rule 1. And what is rule 2? Okay, first we will see starts with rule 1. So S derives A. Our intention is that deriving a string of terminals. So direct option is there. S derives A means S derives A. So first to take S A. So here deriving a string of terminals. So S is useful symbol. Next one A derives A. So A is also a string of terminal. So A is also a useful symbol. What about B? B is a non-terminal, but here B doesn't have any productions. That means B does not derive any terminal or string of terminals. So in rule 1, we identified B is a useless symbol. So in rule 1, B is a useless symbol because as per rule 1, each and every non-terminal deriving a string of terminals. But whereas in this case, B is a non-terminal and B doesn't have any production. So, first eliminate the useless symbol B. So, before going to, there is no need to go to step 2. So, first in step 1 only we identified one symbol as a useless symbol. So, first we have to eliminate it. So, B is a useless symbol. Now, after elimination of useless symbol B, the resultant grammar is S2. So, here B is a useless symbol. So, we have to remove the entire production, not the particular symbol. Okay, S2AB. S2AB is a production. So, here B is a useless symbol. That means we have to remove the entire production, not for a particular symbol. We have to remove the entire production. So, remove S2AB. After that, the remaining grammar is S2A and A to A. After eliminating the useless symbol B, this is the resultant grammar. Again apply the same rules. Again apply the rule 1 and rule 2. Rules. What is the first rule? We have total 2 non-terminal symbols. One is S, second one is A. What is the rule 1? Each and every non-terminal deriving a string of terminals A to A. So, rule 1, all are useful symbols. There is no useless symbol. Next one, rule 2. What is rule 2? What is rule 2? So, S is starting symbol of the grammar. S derives. The rule 2 is, so S derives gamma, alpha, beta. Gamma, alpha, beta. Whatever it is. So, in this process, in the derivation process, so each and every non-terminal is derivable from starting symbol of the grammar. But whereas in this case, S derives, we have only one option, that is A only. S derives A only. So, what about capital A? So, the capital A will never comes into this picture. Okay. Because S derives A only. So, capital A does not come here. That means A, capital A is not deriving from starting symbol of the grammar. So, A is useless symbol. Suppose the production is like this, S2AA. Now you can write S2AA. Now A is replaced with A. Now in this case, S derives AA. So A is derivable from S. So S and A are useful symbols. But whereas now there is no possibility, because S derives A only. So the capital A will not derive from S. So A is useless symbol. In rule 2, A is useless symbol because A is not derivable from starting symbol of the grammar. So after elimination of A, useless symbol, after elimination of useless symbol A, the resultant grammar is, you can write S to A only. The resultant grammar is S to A only. Okay? This is the process. And now, write the summary. So, in this class, I have discussed about the simplification of context-free grammar. Simplification of context-free grammar. So, in this simplification process, I explained one is how to eliminate the epsilon production and how to eliminate the unit production and how to eliminate the useless symbols. Useless symbols. Okay. So by an examination point of view, they may ask simplify the following grammar means you have to follow 3 steps. Step 1 is elimination of epsilon production. Step 2 is elimination of unit production and then elimination of useless symbols. Okay, this is the order. Okay, thank you.